Samuel Ugarte, who now works for the Sun, I mean, you know, anyway, he is saying that Manchester United do not want to hawk Ugarte around as they accept he's a very hard sell and there is a high possibility that he will remain at the club this summer. Now, look, I think that he also goes on to say Man United will sign a marquee midfielder this summer for around 100 million. Beyond that, United will recruit smartly with market conditions shaping further spending rather than fixed fee breakdowns. Look, in relation to the journalistic transfer states, I don't think there are many English journalists beyond David Ornstein that's actually very credible when it comes to transfers. There's a few tap-ins like Simon Stone and The Athletic. I think they can tap it in from a good assist in the sense that, you know, we'll know about a story and then they'll go, yeah, it's going to happen. There's very few British journalists that actually generate a transfer story. You know, I would say someone like Florian Plettenberg in Germany generates transfer stories more than anybody in the English press, apart from David Ornstein. So I'm not about to sit here and say that Samuel Ugarte knows anything about transfers because I don't think his track record's that good. I don't think there's many English journalists that do have a very good track record about it because when you're a client journalist, you don't go out there getting your own stories. So I don't agree with what people are saying. Because some people are being quite abusive about it and saying, oh, he knows nothing. And then some people are saying, oh, this means we're only going to buy 2 midfielders because we're keeping Ugarte. I don't, and you know, I could scaremonger. I could say, oh my God, that's United telling Lucas that, you know, Ugarte's not going anywhere. So realistically, we're probably only going to buy 2 midfielders, and instead of getting people like Ederson, Fernandes, and Anderson, we could end up with Ederson, Fernandes, and Ugarte staying. Well, look, worst case scenario, that might be the case, but I don't see it like that at all. I think that sometimes you've got to look at this pragmatically. And maybe I'm very pragmatic when it comes to transfers because we've been doing this for so many years. I remember being in a London hotel room, running up the stairs, checking in to do a video on Lozano. You know, we've done all sorts over the years and it's been a great journey on the beach, on the, you know, walking to work. You get to know, I've played the game and I think we've all played the game. I don't think Ugarte is staying at Manchester United. I think what's happening is we can't sell him. And to be honest, many of you have said this. We can't sell Ugarte because we've only had Ugarte for 2 years and we paid £55 million. We need to clear over 30 just to break even on that deal. You know, what do they call it? When you know, it's not, I can't remember what it's called, but it's when it's the value of the player every year depreciates divided by however many it is. But we would need to make, somebody would need to give us 30 million. I think it might be even more for Ugarte. So we're not selling Ugarte and we're not selling Onana. And I completely understand why people get overexcited about the transfer window and they start saying sell Dalot, sell Shaw, sell Mount, sell Onana, sell Ugarte, there's 400 million. And you just sort of like go, you're not going to sell any of them. No one's going to give you money for them. You might get monopoly money, but who plays that? So we're not selling Ugarte. We have to loan him. And I think that's what this update's all about. We're not selling Ugarte. We're going to have to loan him. It still won't stop us buying 3 midfielders unless United are so unambitious that they will only buy 3 midfielders if Ugarte gets sold. But that would be incredible because Amorim didn't pick Ugarte and Carrick didn't pick Ugarte. And Carrick would rather play Mason Mount in the midfield over Ugarte. So we've devalued Ugarte. And that's our own fault. If I was Jason Wilcox, I would have said to Carrick, can't you pick Ugarte against Brighton just to put him in the shop window enough? And we didn't do it. So we've devalued Ugarte. We've made him unsellable because we've not used him. Well, there's probably a bloody good reason for that, if we're being honest. But we won't sell Ugarte, so I think we'll loan him. So we'll still buy 3 midfielders. That's my feeling on it, really. I can't see us keeping. I can't see Carrick keeping a player that he doesn't use, because he will definitely have to use Ugarte next season. You know, if Ugarte was one of the 4 with Manu, you'd have to use him. So I just think that let's not get overreacting to that Ugarte staying and we're only going to sign 2 midfielders. It makes absolutely no sense. It makes no logical sense. I think we're going to have to loan him. We're probably going to loan him to Turkey. They'll cover his wages. He'll lose a year of his deal, and then next summer, hopefully, we can sell him for 25 million and just break even. I think that's what'll happen. Maybe a bit of a Rasmus deal, you know, where you send him off on loan somewhere where he does quite well. They're really happy with him, and then you agree a transfer. But that's what I think will happen there.